back to my channel. If it's your first time here, make sure you join the family and click the subscribe button down below. If it's not your first time here, you are very welcome. Thank you for coming back. And yeah, let's get into this video. It's actually been a minute since I've done a sit down video like this, and you know, when you see this setup, you know it's kind of going down. And if you guys have not seen this tiny cute little look, you guys, your girl has some red hair on. So if you want to see how I did this, you can go to my Instagram page somewhere here and follow me, and then you can also see the cute pictures and the video. And yeah, so I'm sure you guys have seen the title, and today I just want to talk about a topic that's kind of like been on my heart. I kind of want to talk about this, not really to air out my business, but because I think there's a lot of people out there who are going through something. Actually, almost everyone is going through something, and to spread a message of positivity, basically. I really feel like sharing this could help someone out there, and yeah, I hope it helps someone out there. And yeah, if you can only help one person, then I'll have done my part. Okay, so let's get into this video. I don't even know if it's a video, a story time. Anyway, let's just get into whatever this is. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a background on what 2020 has been for me. I want to give you guys like a background of everything, so you can kind of know where everything is coming from. And some of the things I'll probably give some details, because maybe you already know if you follow me on Instagram. And some of the things I'm not gonna mention because it's personal. So actually, okay, so 2020 for me was the definition of bad, but I don't want to define it as that so far, because anyway, you'll see what I mean. But okay, so let's like take it back to actually 2019, because my 2020 kind of started in 2019, at the end of 2019. If you guys have been following me for a minute, you will see that the end of 2019 was quite stressful for me. I'm a fifth year medical school, if you guys don't know, and in fifth year is where you kind of finish all your courses, and you kind of, anyway, at my school that's how it is. They pack all the crazy subjects like surgery, internal medicine, and all these subjects. And I remember that semester till January, I had like, I think more than 10 courses and exams back to back from like October. So I was quite stressed at the time, but it was still okay, right? So then this came December, so that's kind of where things started to just go wrong, because when December came, I had been having exams for like 2 months by now, right? And I still had to have exams the whole of December, and like every Friday of the whole of December, and then I also still had to have exams till like mid-January, so like the first 2 weeks of January. So in December, around like just before Christmas, the week before Christmas, I was stressed, you guys. Like that's when the heavier subjects were coming down, right? And I was just stressed. I was extremely stressed. I had so much work to get done, and it was just a lot. Like it was a lot. And then my grandmother passed. God rest her soul. My grandmother passed. She wasn't just like some grandmother, you know, that I've never heard of. No, she was actually part of our lives very much so indeed. I don't know if you guys see me cooking a lot on Instagram and stuff. Like, I learned that from her and my mom. She taught me how to bake, she taught me how to sew. She was there. She was like a parent to us, even though she didn't live in the same country as us. She was living in Burundi, but she always made the road trips. I remember in like 2016 when I first came back from China, my mom was so stressed saying, oh, grandma wants to come to the airport and all this, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, but she was so keen on coming to like be there. And you know, she was that kind of grandma. She was the one who is in your life, in your face all day, every day. And basically losing her was just heavy. It was building up to that point, so I was kind of, well, they tell you to prepare yourself, but when it actually happens, it's like you just can't prepare for something like that. So when my grandma passed, it was extremely lonely for me here. Not only that I was going through that grief, nothing else stops. Like, school doesn't stop. If you have work, work doesn't stop. It's like I just had to like keep it moving. I remember, like, there was Christmas, there was New Year's. I couldn't celebrate none of that. I was just like, keep it moving, like, you have to keep it moving. And I remember, and like, seeing my family all gathered together, like, you could see that it helped everyone kind of feel better. But here, I don't know if you guys know, but I live alone, so it really wasn't helping. It was like I felt so alone, even though I had friends like who were trying to support. It just felt very, very lonely. Anyway, so that happened. Christmas came by, and then just before Christmas, I think I had like my first like anxiety attack. Like, I felt like it was too much. It was too much. One day I was trying to study for this one subject and I couldn't breathe. Like, I just couldn't breathe. Like, I really felt like my heart was so heavy. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like, and I called my mom and I just broke down, and I just felt like I had so much pressure to keep it together that I just broke down, basically. So then, yeah, we talked through it. My mom is like my best friend, you guys. So we really talked through everything, and it kind of helped me feel better to, like, you know, put out some of those feelings and pour them out a little bit. And yeah, so comes New Year. For the first time, you get like, New Year came by, and I know I had like an exam, I think 2 days after New Year's, but I really didn't feel like celebrating in the way that I usually do. Oh, you go out and like, I just didn't feel like it. Someone introduced me to a certain pastor on YouTube in like November, so I was like, I knew that church was having like a celebration and I could watch it on YouTube. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna spend this New Year's on YouTube and watch this church celebration and celebrate in the spirit and just kind of offer this year to God, right? And okay, so I'll also give you another background. Like, I grew up in a Christian family, like a Catholic family. You know, like, God has always been there. He's always been part of the family. Like, he's always been in my life. We go to church and everything. But I don't necessarily think I had a personal relationship with God. Like, I wasn't reading the Bible. I didn't do none of that stuff. I just used to go to church on Sunday, and that's it. And I think even here in China, I stopped going to church, so I would only go to church when I'm home. Even though I went because I wanted to. Here, I just didn't have the time, or like, my schedule didn't align with being able to go to church. Basically, New Year came by, and I did the whole church thing on YouTube, and I watched the sermon, and I watched the whole celebration, and it was all good and nice. Went through to the rest of my exams, and by that time I finished like around, I think it was like 10th of January or like 8th of January, something like that. And basically that day I finished, I think I even did a vlog. I went out with some friends, like, you know, that weekend after I finished, it was like that time for me. It was like 12th, I don't really remember the date, but it was like in the second week of January. So I remember even doing, I think there's a vlog where I was talking a little bit about it. I was so excited for the holidays, you guys. Like, it was gonna be Chinese New Year. I was excited for the holidays because I felt like I hadn't had a break in such a long time. So I just wanted to just take some time and enjoy life, and somehow just take off all the stress and process all my emotions, and just take time for myself and enjoy myself, do fun things and all that. And I think I mentioned that in that vlog. I'll just link the vlog somewhere in this video so you can go watch it. That happened to be the last time that I actually went out with friends. So sad. Thank God that I actually vlogged it. But yeah, okay, so after that, after finishing my exams, I remember like taking time to be like, okay, so New Year 2020, let's write, you know, New Year goals and everything. So I remember taking one day to just write down some goals. I wrote down business goals, I wrote down like med school goals, and like I wrote down all sections of my life, like what I want to achieve in this year. And I remember I even have where I wrote that down. There was a part that said that I wanted to be closer to God. I wanted to be closer to God, because towards the end of 2019 I had started asking myself questions like, how does God talk to people? Like, when people say that God told them to do something, like, how do they know? Like, do they actually hear his voice? Like, you know, I'd started asking myself such questions. So for the new year, I wanted to find some kind of connection with God, have like a personal connection with God. And from there, so from there, you guys, after that weekend of me celebrating the end of my exams and everything, it was I think it was a Saturday night. That was the last time that I was out for fun with people. After that, the Thursday after that was lockdown. So that's when the whole virus situation started like coming down hard. I was stressed that I had been out, you know, like 4 days prior, thinking like, okay, what if I actually got this, because I was in a crowded place and all this. So the first 2 weeks of lockdown, I was just stressed. Like, you can only imagine, like, I'm sure everyone, when this thing came to you, like, everyone was confused, right? So you can imagine how much more confused we were, being the first people to kind of go through this. And it was just a lot. Like, it was a lot. We didn't know how long it would last. We thought it would last like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then, you know, being locked alone, and so it just all escalated, right? So it all escalates. And here I was thinking, like, I thought I was gonna get a break, but now look at this. And I really wasn't looking at it with the right lens, if you know what I mean. Like, it was very negative. And at the time, I was just always trying to keep up with the number of cases. Every time you wake up, you read the number of cases. And guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was stressful. It was, you know, the struggle for food, the being completely alone. Like, it was just a lot, right? So after lockdown started, right, I think a month after lockdown, like, we kind of started getting used to this life. Like, even though we were trying to voice our issues, which in itself was also another undescribable amount of stress, trying to, raise awareness, trying to bring up our issues and trying to get, taken out of here. I remember we were really trying to get evacuated, even though that didn't work out. But it was like a very heavy negative energy all around, right? And then after that, like, I was just so overwhelmed at one point, and I was like, you know what? I give up. Like, I give up trying to get evacuated. I give up trying to negotiate things. Like, I give up all these talks. Like, let's just write this out and see what happens. And then February came by, and we just wrote this out. Whatever food you could get, you use that. Whatever happened. Whatever you could get, you stay thankful, right? And so when I started getting used to it in like end of February, beginning of March, something else happened. Something personal. Yeah, like it was one of those situations that just make you sad and get you in a very bad mental state, and like you're depressed and you're just confused. Mostly you don't know what's going on, you don't know what to do, right? You don't really know what to do. Like, there was really nothing I could do for this situation. I thought I could fix it, I thought I could do something about it, but I really couldn't do anything about it. So, and then I think towards the end of February was when Lent had started. So Lent started, I think, like 20-something of February. I don't know if you guys are Christians or Catholics, you know what Lent is, 40 days of fasting before Easter. So I remember for that Lent, I decided, you know what, like, I'm gonna try do something for this Lent. So I thought to myself, fasting, but I couldn't really fast because I wasn't eating as much, I was only eating once or twice a day. So fasting for me was already like some kind of lifestyle. So I was just like, I can't fast more than I am already fasting. You get what I mean? So I decided, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna try and read the Bible every single day for 40 days. So I started that. I started reading the Bible every single day, trying to keep up with it also, and refraining from anything that is not good. So I started reading the Bible every single day, first week, second week, and then that's when that thing in March happened, and it was just like a lot of stress, a lot of asking yourself so many questions that you cannot answer. And it was building up to that point where I could not control anything with Corona. If you guys know me, I am a person who likes to fix things. I don't like to leave things hanging. If I have a problem with you, I want to fix it. If there is something that's not going right, I want to fix it. Like, I don't like to leave things just hanging. I'm a fixer, basically. So I couldn't control anything with coronavirus. I couldn't control anything with this other issue. And it was building up to a point where there was a lot of things that I could not control. I couldn't control how I couldn't, attend my grandmother's funeral. Like, I could not control anything. And so reading the Bible, it was like, okay, like, this is one thing I can do that, I can control. I can do this and see where it takes me, and see what does God have to say about anxiety? What does God have to say about fear? What does God have to say about all these things that I'm going through? I want to hear from Him just like everybody else hears from Him. And so March March went by, and now April came. Mind you, at the beginning of lockdown, we really didn't think we could last a couple weeks. Like, we were like, no, okay, this is gonna last like 1 month, this is gonna last 2 months, this is gonna last maybe 3 months. I don't know. So by the time April had come, I had already gotten used to lockdown. Was like I had a bunch of issues. Now lockdown was like here, right? Like, I'd gotten used to the life of being alone. By the time April came, my mindset had kind of started changing. Having read the Bible so often, Easter came. Also, after Easter, I continued. I was like, okay, I like this thing of reading the Bible every single day. So why don't I do a devotional every single day from now on? I did it for 40 days. Let me continue doing it and try and be consistent with this. And I swear to God, you guys, it's the one thing that has been consistent in my life from that time up to now. And so and so from there, when April came, my mindset had already started changing. I started just feeling so much peace with a lot of things. I started feeling peace with lockdown, peace with the March situation, peace with a lot of things, just peace with not being in control and handing out all these things that I think I should be fixing to God and let Him handle it, you know? And so when April came, okay guys, I feel like I'm getting emotional for this, but I lost my best friend. Some of you probably saw on Instagram. Why am I getting emotional, you guys? I thought I wasn't gonna get emotional. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so beginning of April, first week of April, I lost my best friend. She was a childhood friend of mine. We were actually a group of about 8 girls. Like, we always used to hang out together all throughout high school. Like, we were close like this, but she was really, really close in the sense that even after coming here and her being all the way in the States, like, it was like we were just, she was always there, she was always calling. And I remember she was even one of the people who were kind of always calling me about the whole Wuhan situation and even anything else really. She would just call so we can hang out, especially when things started hitting in the US. She had a lot more time, so we would hang out a lot more on phone calls and just kind of do this whole quarantine together with the rest of our friends, like, yeah, like the whole group basically. So losing her was like, I was at a point where I felt like, okay, God, I understand like what you're doing. I understand how the ways in which you're trying to change me by me going through all these things. But when it came to losing her, for a minute I thought like, okay, like, God, like, you're kind of like pushing it now, you know? I felt like you're really pushing it. Like, I'm trying my best, but you're not helping. And I thought of it, and like that was my immediate reaction, right? That was my immediate thought, like, okay, like, this is a bit much, right? And it was just like a lot of painful things that were going on. And at that point I just decided, like, I can either be mad at God, or I could try to hear from Him more, you know? I could lean into Him to carry me, to carry my friends, to carry her family, especially her family, to carry everyone out of this pain. Or I could just be mad at Him, but I didn't see why I should be mad at Him, right? I didn't see how I should be mad at Him. And then He started working, you know, working in me, working in my friends. You know, seeing her past was very, very painful. But then seeing all the blessings that came with that, like seeing how much people helped her go. By the way, if I posted on Instagram, about her GoFundMe page like a couple months ago, and you guys, the response was amazing. I just want to thank people who did that. Like, I want to thank every single person who really tried to pitch in for her to be home. And anyway, so that GoFundMe campaign, just one day, everything just, it was done. God was like, it's well, it's done. And I remember me and my friend praying about it, and we said, one day, and this is gonna be done. One day, God, and you're gonna do it. And he did it. In one day, he did it. Every single coin that was needed was even exceeded. He exceeded our expectations. And that's when I really started seeing him work, seeing him just turn all this pain into something else. Losing my grandmother and losing my best friend, like, you guys, I had never really lost someone close to me like that. So just losing all these people that were so close to me all at once, I was just so confused, and I was like, God, I really hand it to you. Like, you take the wheel. Do you guys know this saying of Jesus take the wheel? We always use it as a joke, but I kept saying it, and I meant it. I said, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, at this point, you do what you feel is right for me. You choose for me the people you want in my life. You choose for me every single thing that I deserve. Because at the end of the day, and I'll let you know one thing, thinking back on my friend's life and everything that she had been to us, we really felt like we were blessed, abundantly blessed. We were blessed with her presence. It felt like God was just working through her in our lives. And I don't really want to spend so much time talking about her, but I just want to kind of express what God was doing in us, bringing us together during this time, most of us are spread out across the world, but the way he brought us together closer than any other time, other than the times we were in high school when we were all actually physically together, he really brought us back together, reminded us what love really means among people. He reminded us what family really means, and it was just like, I just want to say it was, I can't say it's a blessing in disguise because it's really painful to lose somebody, but there were blessings that came with at the end of everything, basically. I don't want to keep explaining what happened every single month, because there were definitely still struggles every month of things that kept happening. And mind you, all these things that happen, it's not like they had a solution, and none of them still has a solution. I'm still here in China. Even though lockdown is lifted, I'm still in my house every single day. You understand? So it's not like every single thing actually got fixed. You get? But it was about where I put my focus and where I shifted my focus. And the moment I decided to hand it off to God and just give it to him and tell him, Lord, you are in control, that was the moment I really started to feel peace, because I didn't feel the pressure to fix anything that was wrong. I just felt like all I have to do is trust that his plan is better than my plan, and his plan is actually definitely better than my plan. There were a couple verses in the Bible that always, and I mean always, rang in my head, and they still do. There is this one in Timothy that says, for God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of love, of power and love and self-control. self-control was key for me. Self-control meant that I didn't act out of emotions. I didn't act out of what I am currently feeling right now, but I just leaned into God and leaned into Him and just turned every single painful emotion that I had into praise for Him, and tried to see all the good things that He is doing in my life while there is so much chaos going around. All the blessings that He was blessing me with while there is so much chaos going around. I'll give you one example, and this one is very, very simple. And I really don't even feel ashamed to, mention it. I'll give you an example of a small blessing that I probably wouldn't have noticed if I didn't stop complaining and stop feeling sorry for myself and just try to see the good that is around me. After lockdown, you can imagine having zero source of income. But you guys, am I not here? Am I not living? Am I not having food? Is my fridge not full? Do I not have electricity in this house? Like, everything has been provided for. Every single month has been provided for. From so many different places, and some I don't even understand how it comes, but it just comes. And that's God's way of saying. There's also another verse, I can't remember where it's from, but it basically says that, God really feeds these birds, and don't you think you are worth than mere birds? So He obviously will provide for you. He will provide for every single need that you have. And to know and have, and just, the moment I stopped and thought about this, and I thought of His goodness and how He has been able to keep me all these months from December all till today, and I'm okay and I'm breathing and I'm fine. Thinking of all that, I trust and I know that He means well. He is here, He is always there, He's always keeping me, He is always watching and always providing for every single need. There's also one verse that I like to really refer to that says, do not be anxious for anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. So that's one verse that I really like to refer to, because every single time I feel the need to know what's gonna happen tomorrow, the need to know what's gonna happen and what's gonna happen with this situation, what's gonna happen with that situation. I just bring myself and really, get into that self-control and tell myself, you know what, do not be anxious for anything, but really let your requests made known unto Him. And that's what I really try to do. I be like, God, this is what I am dealing with. This is the situation that I am handing off to you. And after I've handed it off to Him, I know it is well. And this is something that one of my really closest friends likes to say. She likes to say, it is well. And I 100%, 1000% agree, it is well. So my message to you is that you can come out of anything. And there is also a verse that says there is nothing that God will allow you to go through that you cannot handle. He won't put you through something that you can't handle. That's one. Two, if you can't actually handle it, He will pull you out of that situation. So whatever it is, He is there. So if you're going through something really horrible, He's either gonna let you go through it so you can grow as a person, or He's gonna pull you out if it's too much for you. All these things that I have been going through, it was a growth for me. It was growth for me spiritually. And now I look back and I say, and I remember the time that I wrote in my 2020 goals that I wanted to be closer to God, and that's the number one goal that He has accomplished for me this year. And I feel like it's the most valuable goal. You know, it's more valuable than anything I want for my business. It's more valuable than anything I want for my schooling, for my career. Because if I know that God always means well, if I know that he always has a plan for me, if I know that he knows what's going on, but he already knows what's gonna happen even after what I have gone through, then why am I afraid? Why should I be afraid? You understand? Like, I always tell myself, like, why am I afraid? Or why am I so stressed? And then I'm like, actually, there really is nothing to be stressed about, you know? If we could see what God has in front of us, we wouldn't be stressed. So if you know that he has something good for you in front, in the future, in the near future, then you know it is well. It is well. And so this message is to just spread some positivity and also tell you guys to lean into God. You know, I was never like the most spiritual person. Trust and believe. I am not that girl, and I was not that girl. But really feeling like God is close to me, feeling like he is there for me, it is the most amazing thing that's happened to me, to be honest. I covered him, and I truly believe that that was his way to bring me to him. You know, I'm a very stubborn person. I am very big-headed. I don't necessarily just believe whatever. So I think he knew that. He was like, okay, you want to be close to me? I'll take time for you. Nzagufatira umwanya, we shall sit down and I'll show you who I am, you know. And he did that. He brought me close to him, and at this point I feel like even if things were 100% amazing in my life, I could never take that for granted. I will know that it is only God-given, that's for sure, and I could never just, you know, take that for granted, and I can only try to do good in return. And hence this video, I would really just like to inspire someone to know that it is well, it is okay. It is okay if things have not been going your way for a long time. It's okay if things have not been going well for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 months, you know. At the end of the day, what is meant for you comes at the right time. So trusting that God really has my best interest at heart is the most relieving thing I could have done, you know. It was relieving on my heart. It was really, and also when my friend passed, I just knew she was up there. She was in heaven. Like, coming to that understanding that he loves her way more than we can ever love her, you know, she's in a better place. Learning to trust God and to trust in his plan, those are things that I didn't learn just like that. I had to learn the hard way, and I am grateful. And to just conclude this, you have to really change your focus. You know, stop focusing on the news and the negativity and the how many cases are happening every single day. What good is that gonna do you as a person? It's only gonna, you know, create so many ideas in your head that you cannot control. So handing out that control to God and say, however many people have died today, I give them to you and I pray for them. And you don't really need to know how many, you know, you don't have to. It's a way of protecting your mind and protecting your spirit and protecting your personal space against all that anxiety. And so that's another thing I really stopped doing. I stopped following the news 100%. I stopped, you know, trying to be in control all the time because I knew it's not gonna help me. So shifting my focus to every single thing, no matter how small, and shifting my focus to it, and like every single thing that is going well. If it is a conversation today that is going well, I will be like, thank you, Jesus. If it is me eating food today that I really, really enjoyed, I will be like, thank you, Jesus. If I order out, I'll be like, thank you, Jesus. Every single small thing that is good, you change your focus to that and your life will change. I tell you that. So I just wanted to put out a message out there that, no matter what you are going through, God still has your best interest at heart. No matter how dark your situation looks, no matter if you lost a job, no matter if you lost a child, He still has your best interest at heart. He still has a plan for you. He still wants to prosper you, maybe towards the end of this year. So you just wait for that blessing. Keep hanging there and wait for that blessing. And that's why for me, I can't say 2020 is cancelled, not even one bit, because I may have been alone the entire time. I may have gone through so many things, but I gained a personal connection with God, and that is something that is priceless. I gained so much understanding into who God is, and that is priceless. So for me, at this point, I am not even worried really about what's going on. I am actually excited. It's such a weird thing, but I'm so excited for how the rest of this year is gonna go, because I know that He has something good planned for me, and I receive it in Jesus' name. And that's the message that I just wanted to share with you guys, that it is well. No matter what you're going through, it is well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I know it might have been so long, and I might have rambled and talked about so many things, but I hope you guys were able to take out something, and that something will help you in this video. So yes, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.